I got a notification in the myriad notifications that I get on what's happening or what's coming to the market where of a little painting by an artist I didn't know. And I looked at the image and I was struck by the strength of this image, of this painting. The artist's name is Cliff Joseph, and when I did the research about this painting and decided to acquire it, which was relatively recently, it was before the events that are now hopefully going to transform our propensity for racism and social inequality. And I say that in the same way as I said on September 11th when I found out that the main terrorist, al-Shehi, was my age. And I said to myself, how could we do this? In other words, how could somebody my age could have so much hatred to run into the World Trade Center with a plane? In the same way, I put myself on the side of the racists, even though I'm not far from. But how could we be racist as a species? How could we think that we are superior? The concept of white supremacy is a complete horror to me. But yet, even though I don't abide by it, I'm also a human and a white man. And unfortunately, therefore, I must have in me, as we, I guess, all do, have the propensity to do, the most horrible things. So I was able to acquire this painting by Cliff Joseph, and this is a really extraordinary moment because I just received it today. It's been a wonderful day for a bunch of reasons. One of which is that I started the day on a Zoom conference where Paul McCarthy was discussing the work of Philip Guston and really talking about a certain strain of activism through art, where instead of just making art, you can actually make art as a catalyst of change, or at least as an agent to understand the human condition, the human psyche. Anyway, so this is it's a bit of an emotional moment because of everything that's happening, in the world. I also broke my arm, got the cast out yesterday. Ugh. And what a small thing in comparison to everything else, and COVID, by the way. So I researched Cliff Joseph, and as it turns out, Cliff Joseph is a really important African-American artist who you'll see is a really fine painter. And as far as I'm concerned, has succeeded in opening my eyes. I've been obsessed with the march from Montgomery to Selma, for example, which happened in 1965. I've been studying about the racial laws and how we went from, and again, we, not they, not always pointing the finger at somebody else. We have to take responsibility. Not speaking is a form of acceptance, so I'm speaking. Cliff Joseph has succeeded in making me learn about a lot of things. How, again, we moved from slavery to segregation, and now hopefully we'll move from racism, away from racism. Hopefully we'll move away from people having different chances in life just because of the color of their skin. So he succeeded in doing that with this painting, which I'm going to show you in a minute. Cliff Joseph was the founder of a protest in 1968 against the Metropolitan Museum, because the Metropolitan Museum staged an exhibition called Harlem is on My Mind, and however wonderful exhibition it was, no black artists were invited, painters or sculptors, even though, granted, this wasn't the focus of the exhibition, but yet no black artists were invited to participate in the exhibition, no black curators were invited to participate in the exhibition, and that created a big upheaval that the Metropolitan Museum would put it on a show, which probably was a great documentary show about black culture in Harlem, but yet, shocking, the tone deaf. So this was Cliff Joseph. But returning to this painting, so this painting is called Southern Comfort. So of course it's about the South, and it's laced with irony, Southern Comfort, and it's by an African American artist named Cliff Joseph. This painting was painted in 1965. So here it is, and I'll let you look at this wonderful work. And see how it's of the moment, considering that the Confederate flag is now hopefully on the way to being banned. The 13 stars of the representing the 13 members of the Union of the South are, in this case, 13 Klan members, or 13 heads of Ku Klux Klan people. So this is really something. This is one hell of a painting. Really love it, really moved to have this. And of course, this lynched person here who was lynched is somehow surviving, hopefully through, not surviving, because when you're lynched, you're dead.
In our struggle for transcendence, we cannot separate our professional efforts from the totality of our day-to-day lives. Resolving contradiction is the essence of the creative process in artistic production and in our commitments to social change. Our creative gifts obligate us to a larger responsibility in making history. We have an opportunity each day to make political decisions and to make choices consistent with the affirmation of life.